What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Button Bounces Back, episode number 13 we're on to today. And the first thing I'm going to say, if you haven't watched episode 12, the Italian Grand Prix, Monza, go and check that out first, because that is an absolutely amazing race for ourselves. So make sure you check that one out before this one. There'll be a link in the description to the video and to the playlist itself, so you can go and catch up on any previous episodes that you might have missed. But round 13 of the F1 calendar sees us go to Singapore. Singapore, in my opinion, is almost like a more forgiving version of Monaco. It's a tight street race, but it's not quite as tight as Monaco. And it's a track that I'm not too amazing at, but I'm not awful at either. As you can see, we're currently watching qualifying. I'm sitting in 7th, 8th, 6th, sort of flickering through those usual positions that I'm usually in qualifying. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again, we always struggle to keep up with the Mercedes and the Ferraris in quali, and the Williams as well to an extent, but we always seem to give the Williams a good run for the money, whereas we can never get anywhere near the Mercedes 9 times out of 10. But it'd be awesome if you enjoyed this video, and if you're still enjoying the series, if you throw a thumbs up on today's video. Also subscribe to the channel if you're not already, for the F1, for the FIFA, for all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, you can see, like I say, qualifying at the moment, we're sitting in 10th place. There's a really long straight here, which of course we're going to suffer down, drop down into 11th and 12th at one point now, but we do manage to gain back 10th as we take that nice right-hander. And it's a difficult track, like I say. It's not quite as bad as Monaco. We take this corner absolutely terribly. I thought we might get corner cutting that for that, actually, because we went too wide and we couldn't quite recover it enough. I'm a bit hesitant going into that left-hander as well, as well as turning back out, then turning again. And it's a track that you think would suit the McLaren, because there's a lot of corners. There are a couple of straights as well, but there's a lot of corners in here, and we always seem to benefit when on tracks where there's sort of fast corners and stuff. Does that might sound like long, smooth corners? We seem to do really well around. And you can see we end up coming in qualifying in 7th place. So I was actually pretty happy with that. Like I say, we always seem to be behind the Williams, the Ferraris and the Mercedes. I'm a bit disappointed that we couldn't quite beat Daniel Ricciardo, because he's currently our main competitor. He's the one just above us in the Drivers' Championship, so I want to be beating him. Alonso as well, qualifying in 13th. I think may well be his best qualifying of the season so far. I'm going to hand you over to the commentators to paint the scene of the Singapore Grand Prix.
It shouldn't come as a surprise if he leaves the opposition in his wake during the race today.
There are a lot of variables that can cause a driver to be happy with the car one day to struggling with it the next. Track temperature, excessive tyre wear, or a change of fuel load can all affect the feel of a car. He'll definitely be hoping that when the race gets underway, he's got the same balance as he enjoyed in qualifying.
A poor performance from both the car and the driver last time out saw Sebastian Vettel post his worst result of the year. The German will be looking to get back on form with a better performance this afternoon.
Seb was particularly critical of how the car handled after the race, and there were some heated conversations in the garage. The team will be desperate to sort out the issues they're having and find a better balance in the car.
So here we are down on the grid, waiting for the 5 lights out for the race to get going. Lights are going out now, and the start seems pretty good, actually. I wanted to try and go a bit hard into the first corner, because everyone seems to be a bit quicker than us, but there's a little bit of chaos. Daniel Ricciardo comes into the side of us. He actually ends up coming in a bit really badly. It didn't seem to be too much of an incident, but as you can see from the replay here, Daniel Ricciardo, you can see him just towards the right of the camera, just catches me. Don't think it was anything to do with me, to be honest. Spins out, and that is absolutely freaking awesome for us, because like I said before, he's the man that we are competing with in the Drivers' Championship. And what that also means is you've got the top 6 on just behind Bottas. Is it? Yeah, Bottas. There's a bit of a gap that then is fallen because of that incident, and the next person is Verstappen. Yeah, Verstappen's just behind me. But we're going to watch the first lap, as we always do. And I'm going to have to actually eat my own words in today's episode, because I think it might have been either at Spa or possibly even just at the Monza race, the Italian Grand Prix. I was saying that in every single race we always seem to be ending up battling with someone down to the wire. There's always like a coming and going, like passing, being passed, all that kind of good stuff towards the end of the race. With Ricciardo, with the bit Bottas, Massa, all those kind of drivers that are around us in the Constructors' Championship, the Drivers' Championship, sorry. We always seem to have a really close battle with them in the race, and we never seem to have a dull race where I'm just on my own. And that's exactly what happened in this race. After I said it never happens, I'm going to have to eat my own words, because it's currently in 6th place, as you can see. We're struggling to keep up with Bottas in the top 6 that are just ahead of us. I mean, we're not too far away, but they slowly start to pull away as the race goes on. Just catch them all there. Get a bit lucky, actually, not to get any front wing damage from that. But yeah, you can see he's only right there, but with the straights and everything, and with their power unit advantage, having the Mercedes power unit, I think Williams has got the Mercedes power unit advantage. In the long run, we get right up behind Bottas here. This is actually the closest that we get to him, but they slowly just pull away. I think if I was ever going to make a pass, I needed to do it there in hindsight, but it was one of those moments I didn't really realise that they'd pull away as much as they did. You can see again we get really close to him around this corner, but we just can't make anything stick. I tried to go around the outside, which turned out to be a bit of a mistake, so we lose a bit of time from it, and that's about all we'll see of him. The next action you see is me in the pits, and like I say, they slowly pulled away. Verstappen and that lot behind me were quite some time away behind me as well. And we just ended up racing our own race. Coming into the pits, there's Verstappen, etc. coming in just behind me. We come out, and there's Verstappen pulling in. I think that was Verstappen anyway, but it's hard to see sometimes because we have the small preview screen, so you can't fully see everything that's going on in the race. It's difficult, but we come out the pits in 6th place, exactly where we pulled in, and exactly where we were when we were behind Bottas. And it just turns into the most dull race I have ever seen. We're going to skip forward all the way to like 14 and 15 now. Apologies for the fact that it's a dull race, but it's just the way it panned out. 6th is still a pretty good result for us in my opinion. We gained a position from the start, and yeah, this is the most exciting part of the race, because at this point, 1.5 laps to go at this point in the time roughly, and our tyres are absolutely screwed. We do have a slight bit of front wing damage as well from where we just caught the wall ever so slightly. Wasn't worth pitting in for, and it was only ever so slight, like I say. But Massa is now the car behind us, no longer Verstappen. He's of course in the Williams, which is a much quicker power unit than ours, as I've already mentioned today. And he slowly starts catching us up on these last couple of laps, and it gets a bit nerve-wracking to the extent where I think he is right up behind us when we come into the last lap. I can't fully remember now because I did this quite like a few days ago, but if you watch the time splits in the top left hand corner as you watch me racing as well as we cross over the checkpoints, you'll see there's 10 seconds between me and Bottas. He's slowly just pulled away as the race goes on, and 3.4 to Massa, who is the car behind obviously. And you just watch how quickly that comes down because our tyres are screwed, the front wings are a little bit screwed, and we're just struggling to get grip. And just, I mean, look at that there, so close to going into the barrier there. It just hasn't got the grip or the downforce that it had earlier in the race. One thing I will say about the computer, I often criticise them for being a bit daft and all that kind of stuff, but they do manage their tyres incredibly well. I mean, I always seem to be struggling when it comes to my pit stopping towards the end of the race a little bit, whereas they seem to just manage them so well that they just get along fine. And there you can see Bottas has pulled out a bit more, 11.1, and Massa has taken out half a second now, 2.8 seconds he's behind us now going on to the last lap. And at that rate, half a second a sector, he will be right up our backside by the time we come into the final sector of the race. But like I said, it was just crazy how the race panned out because of that first corner incident with Ricciardo spinning, holding everyone else up. There was such a gap to the cars behind me, and such a gap was slowly drawn out by Bottas in front. I just ended up completely marooned, racing my own race. And the other thing is that's bad about racing your own race, as you can see now, he's now just 2.1 seconds behind, pretty much 2.2 really. The bad thing is you don't get any DRS or anything like that because the cars behind are obviously usually quite close together, so they'll have DRS off one another. The same can be said for the pack ahead, the top 5. So I was losing time because of that more than anything as well. So the fact that the car isn't as quick and the fact that they were getting DRS and I was on my own, real pain in the backside, and that's something you have to really try and do in the first few laps. If you're being pulled away from a little bit by the cars in front, you can it's worth just going in a bit harder to try and stay within that second for when that third lap comes along and the DRS gets activated, because that can really be the difference sometimes. But unfortunately in this race I wasn't able to do it, and you can see now 12.3 to the car ahead, 1.6 to Massa behind. He's really closing us in as Lewis Hamilton, as he seems to do every bloody race, takes the checkered flag. I believe he's top of my drivers, sorry I've said that twice now, constructors instead of drivers. He's top of that by an absolute country mile I believe. But coming around the final little chicane here before we enter the last sector. This could be the last sector already actually, I'm not entirely sure, but you can see he's not quite close enough to make the pass on us, but he really did reel us in. We actually seem to be a lot quicker than the computer around those last few corners, which was a godsend for me here. But as you can see, we crossed the line in the most uneventful race I think I've probably ever had in F1 history. in 6th place. The good news for us, like I said, Ricciardo actually, I don't know if he DNF'd or if he just had a really bad race, but he didn't have a good race finish-wise. He definitely finished outside the points even if he didn't DNF, and that would be a massive helping hand in us in the Drivers' Championship. Why do I keep on saying Constructors today? I never do that normally. That is absolutely mental. I don't know what's going on there, but it is still very early to be fair. But nevertheless, like I say, we do finish in 6th place. It's good for us in the Drivers because we take over Daniel Ricciardo by 1 point, so we're going to 7th place on the drivers' standings, which is the highest that we've been so far this season. I don't think we'll have enough to catch up to Massa. You can see he's about 20 points ahead of us, well, about 15. And it's going to be a case of if we can finish above Ricciardo, that would be absolutely awesome. I said at the start of the series I'd like a top 8 finish, and we are currently on course to do that. But that is the end of the Singapore Grand Prix. Next is Suzuka in Japan, a track that I really do like, but it's another really fast one. If you're still enjoying the series, like I said before, leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe if you're new around here, and I will speak to you all next time. Nidge out. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a brand new squad builder for FIFA 15 today. It's been quite some time since I've done one of these. You might be wondering why I'm even bothering, because FIFA 15 is pretty much done on its